Wie hieß das Spiel? Dying Light? Ne, es hieß nicht Dying Light, Quatsch. Ähm, Dieser interaktive Film mit den ganzen Teenagern in dieser Winterhütte. Ach, ich weiß es gerade nicht mehr. Ähm, mit den Wendigos, heißen die Wendigos? Ja, Wendigos. Wenn Everlasting Summer, dies, diese Story Arc, wenn der in dem Stil gemacht wäre, wow, das wäre ja richtig Hammer-Spiel, du. Das wäre ein richtig heftig gutes Spiel. Ähnlich wie, ach, ich weiß nicht mehr, wie es hieß. Until Dawn. Until Dawn hieß es, genau. So, die Mikos Route im Stil von Until Dawn. Holy shit, dude. Ich wette, es wäre nicht schlecht. Lena's disappeared. I whispered. What? Masha grabbed me by the sleeve and stared at a spot where Lena had been sitting a moment ago. How? But how? She started to cry quietly. We will die. We will definitely die. I also very much wanted to burst into tears. Darkness surrounded us all around, closing in. The flashlight was gradually dying, and with it our chances of survival. Get up, time to go, the battery will die soon. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. A couple of minutes later we came to a fork. What the hell? Is this some kind of labyrinth too? I hissed under my breath. Let's go back, maybe? No, no way. Masha pressed against me even harder. Where to then? I don't know. But you have to choose anyway. And I decided to go right. Soon. Oh Gott, das war nur der Staubsauger. Soon we came to another fork. Where to now? Let's stick to the direction we chose before. Oh Gott. We had been wandering for too long. We had neither strength for nor was we have neither strength nor will left was we had been wandering for too long. We had neither strength nor will left to move on. Ach so, strength or will, nicht nor, sondern or. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I was so terribly thirsty I was ready to lick the moisture from the walls. Ugh. Let's sit just a little. A bit. We can't, we must keep going. But just a minute. Masha begged in anguish. Fine. She lowered her head in onto my shoulder. Oh God. The flashlight was blinking more and more often, so I decided to turn it off for now, to save the battery. This is it. I don't know how much time passed. I desperately wanted to sleep, my eyes were closing by themselves. How did we first met? It was so long way ago. Do you remember? I asked in a whisper. What? Masha's voice was trembling. How we met? Yes. She tried to laugh but immediately began to cough. I will sleep for a while, okay? Just for a while, or you will sleep through the whole day again. Well, but you will wake me up? Of course. I kissed her and closed my eyes. Oblivion was getting closer, but I didn't care. I transported back into the time to that very day. My whole body was aching. Perhaps my brain couldn't rest peacefully because it was distracted by thousands of signals from my nerve endings. Somehow I rose and woke up Masha. After all, we were planning to survive. How long have I been in this mine? Fork after fork, tunnel after tunnel. Masha was whispering something all the time. To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. It seems that I won't be able to handle even one more turn. But suddenly the flashlight highlighted a tight passage in the darkness, and soon we found ourselves in an open chamber. Look! Masha was pointing somewhere into the darkness. I flashed a light there and saw a neckerchief lying on the ground. This is not... No. Let's go. Fuck. Oh, scheiße. At last we got out of the labyrinth and found ourselves in a small room. There were broken bottles all over the floor, pipes stretched along the walls, and at the end of them were rusted valves. A mess of graffiti was scrawled all over the walls. At least it's a change of scenery. I sighed. The flashlight had almost died, and I had to shake it up every 10 seconds to slightly recover the battery. Exhausted, Masha dropped to the floor. We can't stop. I'm sure there's an exit somewhere here. How do you know? I looked at her. She obviously had no energy anymore. Masha was struggling with exhaustion and could lose consciousness any second. I just know it. I smiled, trying to look encouraging. Well, if so... She leaned against the wall and stood up hardly. Sit here for now. I will see what is further on. I'm afraid. Masha trembled. I'm not going far. She raised her eyes to me, full of hope, and nodded almost imperceptibly. What the fuck? What the... Ah! Ist das eine andere Mine? Warum ist hier die Tür? Warum ist die Tür in der Mine und nicht in... Ah? I looked around and noticed a half-an iron door. My attempts to open it came to nothing. It was completely rusted shut. I wish that pipe was here now. But there was no other choice. I braced my leg on the wall and threw all my weight against the handle. My muscles bulged, my forehead was awash with sweat, my vision darkened. But the door didn't budge, just gave a hollow rattle. It's alright, wait a second. I shouted over to Masha, gasping for breath. I need to find some kind of stick. I ran over to Masha, bent down and smiled. There's definitely an exit behind this door. Huh? She looked at me warily. I ran out of room and began to scour the mine in searching for something. Dude, was kommt als nächstes? Oh nein, Alter. Und ich muss eigentlich so pissen, Junge. Das ist unglaublich. I ran out of room and began to scour the mine in search of something suitable. The flashlight was about to die, and having blinked at its last, it finally went out. I panicked and began to blunder around, trying to find a way back. However, I kept running into walls and couldn't remember at all how I got here. Masha! Masha! I screamed, hoping that she would hear me. Suddenly a sound came from behind me. A light appeared and my shadow appeared on the ground, stretching far into the darkness. I was rooted to the spot by fear. I heard a seemingly familiar voice. Oh, fuck my ass. What's wrong, Semyon? Got lost? What the shit? Hä? Lena? Ist das Lena oder Alyssa? Sieht aus wie Alyssa. I slowly turned around and saw Lena holding a flaming torch in her hands. Dude, that's so fucking creepy. Her face was disfigured by an inhuman grin. I've come for you. This was the same Lena that I saw at the square last evening. The same as in Olga's cabin. That was Lena, and at the same time not Lena. The creature was more like those Ulyanas. I'm coming for you. Warum sieht sie so... Sie sieht irgendwie so aus wie Alyssa. Man muss aber sagen, cooler Zeichenstil von dem Typen, der das gemacht hat. Ich mag vor allem die Proportionen und alles. Ziemlich cool. Auch wenn es verdammt gruselig ist. You, who are you? I squeezed out. It's Lena, don't you recognize me? She burst into devilish laughter. You completely forgot about me while having fun with them. What's stuck in my throat? It's alright, there's nobody left now. Just the two of us. So you did everything? Bingo. Not everything, of course. For a second her face became guilty, but then she grinned again. Slavia was first. She was always so annoying. She was Miss Reliability. Diligent, hardworking, always everywhere, agreeing with everyone. Yuck! Boy, did she scream when I was tearing off her arms, huh? It was a pity you didn't get to see it all. Her mouth began to tremble as Slavia tripped out of it and her eyes rolled up. Ugh. And then Alyssa. Everybody's annoying me, I don't need anyone. Now she's hanging peacefully alone on a tree. However, it wasn't easy to lift her up there, but it had a much greater effect. How you all screamed, huh? Like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Lena's face was twisted by a grin of sick pleasure. Alright, just that bitch Miku left to deal with, and it's all over. Holy shit. She produced a giant cleaver covered with blood from behind her back. Well, actually, it seemed to me that she was lost in thought. I don't know what that crap in the form of Ulyana was, and the other pioneers weren't killed by me, but does it really matter now? She shook the torch and it flared out in a second. Wait here, I will be quick. A devilish slaughter came from behind me. That means she went after Masha. I must do something quickly. But I have absolutely no idea which way to run. The darkness completely disoriented me. Screw it. I ran the way I assumed Lena went. After only a short way, I painfully smashed into a wall. I turned around and trying to move slowly, but I stumbled over another obstacle, fell down and screamed in pain. Trying to rise, I realized that I couldn't put any weight on my left leg. Seems like I twisted it. I tried to crawl, but it worked out badly. The whole mind floor was covered with sharp stones, rusty nails and broken boards. After only a short way, my arms were torn to bleeding pieces of meat and my eyes couldn't be opened because of the dust and sand. I fumbled in my pockets and pulled out the matchbox. I tried to light up the match with my shaking hands, but couldn't get them to light. Calm down, I muttered. At last, after the fifth try, the mine was lightened by a dim light. I quickly oriented myself and worked out which way I have to run. It seemed the way that only a few seconds passed before I found myself in a room where I'd left Masha. The last match went out, but I just had enough time to see Lena raising her cleaver above Masha. I rushed towards them screaming and dived forward. My hand suddenly collided with something. I fell to the ground and began smashing everything around me. Most of my punches didn't hit the mark, but then my hands met something soft. I heard a moan and dead silence set in. I rolled onto my back and started breathing heavily, inhaling a tri-air greedily. Ah, jetzt haben wir bestimmt Mascha totgeschlagen, oder? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. Masha? I called. I heard quiet sobs. Are you still alive? Yes, she whispered. Did she get you? No. I began to fumble in the darkness and soon found a torch and a lighter. Shapeless shadow began to dance on the walls, and I saw Lena's body sprawled on the floor. She seemed to be alive. I was going to finish her. Don't! Misha crawled right over to me and grabbed my leg. But we can't just... You don't need to... Of course Lena wasn't to blame for everything. But she's the devil incarnate. There's no way we can let a human like her, if she can still be called a human, live. But when I looked at Masha, I realized that I can't. I just can't. I took up a cleaver from the floor and twisted it in my hands. I decided that it would make a perfect crowbar. Going over to the door, I jammed it into the wheel and pulled it on it as hard as I could. The door creaked and opened. Fresh air streamed into the room. We're saved. Dude, warum hast du Lena nicht erschlagen? Ohne Witz. Ja, aber, ja, ohne Witz jetzt. Sie hat unsere... Sie hat Slavia erschlagen. Sie hat Elissa aufgehängt. Sie sagt, sie hat zwar nichts zu tun mit Uljana, aber irgendwas ist damit auch in Verbindung. Sie sah aus wie ein Dämon. Hat versucht, unsere Freundin umzubringen. Und dann sagen wir einfach, oh ja, egal. Das macht keinen Sinn. We're saved. I returned to Masha, helped her to get up, and we left the room, leaving Lena lying unconscious. Huh? Beyond the door, there was a short corridor with a ladder at the end, which led up to her grating. I climbed up and pulled it with all my strength. The grating fell down with a crash and we climbed out. I fell to the grass, exhausted, and looked around. Again the square. Again this camp. The bright red dawn and breaking what was breaking in the east, burning the tops of distant forest. The last stars winkled at me, unaware of everything that had happened here in this hell. Oh, guck mal. Das ist ein sehr, sehr cuter Sprite. Masha rested her head on my shoulder and pointed up to the sky with a trembling hand. I wish we were there. Though we got out of dungeon... Though we got out of dungeon, nothing is over. Crowds of zombie Ulyanas are wandering through the camp, and insane Lena is lying underneath, and heaven knows how much more devilry we will encounter here. I really want to sleep. I didn't know how to answer her. Because I don't know where to run. I don't know where we can be safe. Don't know how to return to our world. Sleep. I patted Masha's head. Listen, this will make a great script for a film. She laughed out loud. I looked at her in horror. Masha was smiling. But the smile wasn't diabolical like the one of Lena's. It was pure, honest, maybe even childish. All the exhaustion had gone away, and her eyes were shining with a cheerful spark. What happened to you? I could hardly speak. Everything is fine. She lay down on my shoulder again. That was the last scene. What? Ha! Suddenly I felt my strength leaving me. My vision darkened, my consciousness began to float away somewhere. I was lying in silence, and only the sound of Masha's breath could be heard. Not a grasshopper's chirping, like all of them had died at last, but only Masha's steady breathing. And her smile. Dude, what the fuck? Ich habe Angst. Jetzt habe ich noch viel größere Angst. I struggled to open my eyes. Bright moonlight reflected on the water, cheerfully skipping on the waves. A light night breeze was blowing, and somewhere far away an owl was hooting. I looked at Masha, who peacefully slept nearby, covered by my shirt. What a dream. My mobile phone dimly showed at the time 3 AM. We'd better go to bed tomorrow. Olga will make us. I just decided to wake Masha up, but suddenly I noticed an open script and a pen next to her. I quickly went through several pages and was horrified. It was completely identical to what happened in my dream. Bile rose in my throat and my eyes darkened. Masha rolled over, opened her eyes and looked at me. You awake? Did you write this? I asked thick-tongued. Yes, what's wrong? I didn't know how to answer. I just couldn't understand what was going on. You were sleeping so cutely that I didn't want to wake you. That I didn't want to wake you, and the grasshoppers were chirping so loudly, so I... She smiled. Wait, but where are we here now? I mean, we're not pioneers. We are filming here, and all that kind of stuff, aren't we? Yes, of course we are. Masha looked at me uncomprehendingly. Maybe I woke up, read what she wrote, and then fell asleep again. You're drenched with sweat. She fumbled in the pockets of the pioneer uniform lying next to her and gave me a handkerchief. A typical Russian handkerchief, embroidered with colorful flowers. I took it and suddenly felt a surge of warmth. The same warmth you feel when someone dear to your heart gives you a present. Shall we go? Masha started getting dressed. Yes. Let's go. I barely stood up and went down to the river. Cold water revived me and the dream stopped seeming so real. After all, it was just a dream, wasn't it? No way, back Masha held my hand and chattered about everything non-stop. We came to the square. I hope those creatures will let me sleep at least tonight. She said thoughtfully. Who? The grasshoppers. Yes, that will be great. Well, I'll go. She looked at me keenly, turned around and was about to leave. Wait! Oh. I grabbed her hand, pulled her towards me and kissed her hard. Because sometimes a dream is just a dream. And reality is reality. What is this? I don't even... Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, contents, key points, a prologue and an epilogue. And there's no book which, if you read it again, would not reveal new details you didn't notice before. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. Oh. So. Okay. Leck mich am Arsch. So, das war also die Mikroroute. War am Ende wohl doch nur ein Traum. Was war das bitte für ein Traum, Alter? Wir hatten einen Traum im Traum. Und ich weiß nicht, würde ich sowas träumen, ich würde schon bei den kleinsten Horrorstellen aufwachen. Fuck my ass. Dude, Alter. Ja, die Story hat mich halt gebumst. Sie war sehr interessant, also sie hat mir sehr gefallen. Vor allem, sie hatte so eine dichte Atmosphäre, dass ich mich wirklich wie in einem Horrorspiel stellenweise gefühlt habe. Vor allem, weil es ist ja nicht diese Art von Horror, den man sieht, sondern es ist die Art von Horror, die sich einem im Kopf abspielt. Und das ist ja stellenweise viel schlimmer als das, was man sieht. Denn das, was man sieht, sieht man ja. Doch das, was man nicht sieht, was man sich vorstellt, ja, das ist der wahre Horror, weil man weiß nicht, was auf einen zukommt. Und das fand ich wirklich, wirklich sehr, sehr gut gemacht. Also, ich muss sagen, die Leute, die diese Storys geschrieben haben, echt gute Arbeit. Also, ich bin echt erstaunt. Es hat mich wirklich richtig gut mitgerissen. Ich habe jetzt am Ende irgendwie nochmal einen Twist erwartet. Aber es war anscheinend wirklich nur ein Traum. Ein ziemlich harter Traum. Aber gut. Ich bin mit dem Ende eigentlich zufrieden. Aber ja, ich bin gespannt, wie die späteren oder die weiteren Routen jetzt noch verlaufen. Die nächste Route, die ich vermutlich spielen werde, ehrlich gesagt weiß ich es gar nicht. Ich kann es noch nicht sagen, welche Route ich spielen werde. Für vielleicht die von Uljana, weil die mich eigentlich recht interessiert. Also ich brauche wieder eine Story, die so ein bisschen witziger ist. Und ich denke, die Story von Uljana ist eigentlich ganz witzig. Ja. So. Und ich würde jetzt sagen, das war's dann mit dieser Session. Mit dieser aufregenden Folge. Ich gehe erstmal aufs Klo. Und wir sehen uns dann wieder bei der nächsten Aufnahme. Bis dahin und sieht sich. Ciao.